Hi everyone, this is a video with Star Citizen Alpha 3.0 and VorpX 17.3.2. As you can see here, I'm using a DK2 Oculus, pretty old, and it's not supported anymore. And right now we're going to start VorpX. And we don't do anything to it, we just leave it alone, and then just go ahead and start Star Citizen. And it's a lot easier now. It starts up and it hooks. It's going to show the hooking right here. Just a second. Right there. And it'll take a minute to load, and right now you should be able to see in your visor, your headgear, starting up. And I was just going to keep this pretty short, but I decided to go ahead and do some flying around in 3.0. Right here I don't like to have my headgear on because it's too shaky and can't really do anything about it. Getting out of bed. And I was kind of surprised that it worked so well. Now there's a couple different modes. There's immersive, which is I'm using right here. Now what you're going to see in the video is just my high resolution monitor. It's a 4K setup, and to see it in 3D, you actually got to have Oculus, of course. Or I don't know if the Steam version, how it's doing, if it's going to hook up like this or not. But there's also, beside the immersion, there's like a true 3D setting, and it's runs just a little bit slower on my system, but not much. At the end of the film, I have my settings. Now I just basically go out trying to find some place non-combat just to do some testing, and it plays pretty good. I was really surprised that it did as well as it did. Now I have the sound turned off because this is a voiceover, so you're not going to hear any game sounds at all. Now you got to keep in mind the Star Citizen's still in alpha stage, so you're going to see a few bugs here and there throughout this video. It's getting much better, and I'm pretty happy we got it. And I skipped a whole lot just to get somewhere kind of interesting, kind of play around these asteroids here for just a little bit. and I use free look to look at the asteroids as I go by. Free look, you kind of get an overscan when you look side to side, so you have to use free look every now and then to recenter your screen up. I'll tell you, fighters in World War II would have been able to spin like that, come around, get right back on target, shoot down their opponent. And here I skip over to hex. In this film, I'm not really doing any combat or anything, just out kind of checking to see how the 3D looks. So I'm kind of flying around where there's not a whole lot of people. Now here I skip quite a lot because it's a long ways to that planet, and I'm kind of looking for a quiet place to land and just get out on foot and walk around for a little bit, shoot my gun some, and go get my ship repaired. I've seen a lot of people having problems landing. If you look at the distances, those like 781, 591, those are going to be on the other side of the planet. Whereas I'm picking this one, it's about under 400. When I first picked it, it was in the dark, and you can see daylight's coming around, so it's going to make a much easier landing in the daylight. And you can see I'm going in quite fast. I used Afterburner to get up to speed and just letting it sit there. Now I'm looking around in free look. Now you can do this with your mouse, and it's pretty much the same thing. But when you have your 3D headset on, it is quite a lot more immersive into the game. And it takes a while here. I've used skipped a whole lot more, and I'm using hold down F, roll the mouse up to zoom in to kind of look at the planet. And you see as you come in closer and closer, it gets more detail and more detail. And that's a little radar bug right now they need to get worked on. Like I said, it's in alpha. And I need to kind of slow down a little bit, or I'll be awful short video. And when you get real close, it'll change from kilometers to meters on the range, and that's an emergency shelter I'm going on. Them are just well, a little station, you'll see. Now, I don't show a lot because I don't want to do too many spoilers at this point in time, because you paid for the game, I suppose. I can see that detail getting better and better. Now, I'm running a 4K system, a 4K monitor, which is what you're seeing, and I'm looking through my Oculus right now, so that's a whole lot of rendering power my computer's doing. But still yet, it's pretty smooth. I'll be testing my Oculus on a couple of slower systems that I have here at the house at some later date, because I want to see where it breaks down how much power you need to run Star Citizen and a VR setup. That's probably a couple months off before I get time to do something like that. And you can see I've changed my attack slope to a whole lot flatter and slowed down a whole lot coming in for this landing. Now, what I always like to do, you don't need to, but I like to, just to see what's going on, is I like to go to a outside view, which I'll do here when I get close in. And you can see the triangle up there in the upper right hand corner just before it comes into sight, so you know where to turn to your target. It's almost like a bombing run, but now you need to slow down and start landing here. And then I'll go to external view mode. And there's another bug. That front turret system bounces around for some reason. Beautiful landscape, I'll tell you. The guys have done really good work. Grays and shadows. And there's no one around here to bug me, so I just take my time to land and stuff. Now I do a little bit of running around, a little exploring around here, but I cut all that out and just shoot my gun just a little bit here after I get down. Yeah, low gravity or something. I use down thrust to force it down on the ground and just shut the power off. There it calms down. And when you see I turn the power off, it will kind of settle in, and she's not going to bounce off the ground anymore. There, it settles in. She's not going to go anywhere anymore. Only thing is, your shields would be down. You could be sniper could get you right now. But I haven't had that happen in the game. It's been a pretty pleasant experience, actually. Now if you change it to full 3D mode, it has a whole lot more 3D detail in the game. But like I say, running the 4K system in the background and stuff, it's using a lot of horsepower just to run everything. And now I'm off to go get my ship repaired. And I'm not sure, but it may be a bug. After I get quantum travel here, I have to use booster to boost down to 0. It could be that I just changed my attitude and flight direction, that my ship would not stop at 0 throttle, or it could be a physics bug. I'm not sure, but I've had it occur a couple of times. Not sure what's causing it though. But I cut some out here, and right now I had to boost to stop. There you go. I don't know if that's a bug or not. And my ship shows damage, but it didn't show any damage here, but I click on repair anyway. I really like the Super Hornet. It's got awesome firepower, flies well. And that's with the stock equipment. I'm really not going to go out of stock equipment until we get more into the game, I think. And there's where I'm going. Back to the port. This landing's a little bit better than on Planet. I think it's because the landing pads have their own little gravity, and you got to be careful when you're EVA. You come in, you could like break your legs if you come in too fast when you're just out goofing around. Because you're in 0 gravity, then it jerks you into gravity.
I don't think so. I think Brianna, I gave it to Brianna and she said she lost it. She couldn't find it. Yeah, I lost it at school.
And this is a major base, so you gotta ask for permission to land. And the first thing you want to do is put down your landing gear, or else you're not going to see where they tell you to land at. So that's the first thing I'll do here. Is it done? Deploying. And that's just holding down the F and scrolling in with the mouse wheel to zoom in on stuff. And there's my landing pad. And typically I'll go to external view, just coming in, just to make it a little bit easier. And at the end here, we've got a few pictures of the inside of my computer. And then I've got the lights turned off with it running, so you can see the inside and outside of the computer with the lights working on the motherboard, graphics card, cooling system. This is one that you could get a much fancier case, a glass case or something like that. It'd look pretty snazzy. But that's not why I bought this particular setup. And this is the end of the film. Alright, now this motherboard, I bought it because the specs, it'll take up to like 128 gigabytes of memory. It'll take a processor up to a 10 core with 20 threads. So I could upgrade it quite a bit more. And it can take another video card too if I wanted to go that way. But so far the 1080 is just fine. And here's where I bought the items, and I'll probably post some links in the comments so you can go look at them and compare to other items. Also, feel free to make any VR comments or even spam your own videos of VR if you want to. And any constructive ideas would be welcome. This is Bad Boy. Y'all have a good day and happy VRing.